Welcome to the Beyond Emissions podcast, brought to you by Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas, at the Soligent YouTube channel, iTunes, etc., Spotify. It is the Beyond Emissions podcast, episode number 34, humming along here. Great education and opportunity to talk with the experts in our renewable energy industry. We have folks from around the world, experts from around the world, whether it's manufacturer, engineers, also as well experienced installers that I have had relationships with going on a couple of decades now, and the ability to kind of take and glean some of that experience and ask them the questions that homeowners want to know. Welcome to the Beyond Emissions podcast. Would you like to learn more about solar and energy storage, peak shaving, time of use, NEM 3 realities, demand charge mitigation, battery backup, whole house backup, off-grid systems? What questions as homeowners and business owners do you need to ask your installer? What information do you need to get from the utility to provide your solar company so they can help you save money and make the right investments as it pertains to your home or your business, your energy consumption, and savings as well, getting that return on investment for the long haul and savings. EV charging, the importance of storage and solar for EV owners. Coming up, RE Plus in Las Vegas, booth number 5949. Stop on by and see us and have a chance of winning a brand new tailor-done driver out at Top Golf on the 14th. If you want to go to the big Top Golf celebration party brought to you by Iron Ridge, Sungage Financial, Solar Converters, and Fortress Power Batteries, all you have to do is stop on by our booth, 5949, and we have wristbands to get you in for free on the 14th of the celebration. Free drinks, food, fun, prizes, golfing at Top Golf. Gonna be a blast with Soligent and our sponsors. But the cool thing is a chance to win a Yeti cooler, awesome new putter as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, a tailor-done driver, longest drive. So we'll see you there in Las Vegas. But we're going to learn about all of these awesome subjects today on the Beyond Emissions podcast. So if you have a chance to, check it out later and you've got to leave now, don't worry. It will be posted at the Soligent YouTube channel. So you can pause it, check it out on demand, share it with your team. But really, if you're a homeowner, that's who I'm speaking to today. The homeowners, the business owners, from your perspective. You want to learn about all of these subjects we're going to discuss that I just ran through. But in addition, be prepared. What do you need to ask your installer? What information do you need to provide from your utility? And what are your goals? Why do you want solar? Why do you need solar, actually? Why do you need energy storage? We're going to go into all of that with one of my friends, again, several decades in the making, working with AltSys Solar. They work with Soligent as well out of Tulare, California. Ricardo Armedarez. I said that correct, didn't I? Welcome to the Beyond Emissions podcast. Ricardo?
Thank you very much, Josh. Nailed it. Nailed the name, and appreciate the opportunity once again.
Yeah, and I got the rolled R as well, right? From Tulare, California, Central Valley, a very diverse place, and I try my very best. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, so I do my very best, but trying not to murder your name. Welcome to the show, Ricardo. And of course, you've been on a past podcast of mine previously. You and I have worked several years. I've also worked with the owner of AltSys Solar. By the way, AltSys Solar, it's just like it sounds. Alt, A-L-T, Sys, S-Y-S, Solar.com. AltSys Solar, or give them a call, area code 559-688-2544. Jack Ramsey, your owner, and of course, the real boss, Ricky the dog, at AltSys Solar in Tulare, California. All joking aside, Jack is amazing, provided me with so much mentorship over the past couple of decades. You as well, you've been working with Jack and AltSys Solar. Before we get started today, introduce yourself and AltSys Solar. I know CalSIA, California Solar and Storage Association. I know Jack is leads the Central Valley chapter here in California, I believe, as well for many years. He's been a pioneer in renewable energy, and you're working right alongside Jack. Introduce yourself to our listeners here at the Beyond Emissions podcast, as well as let them know about AltSys Solar.
Absolutely. Well, again, the breadbasket of the world really here in Tulare, California. My name is Ricardo Armedarez. I've been very fortunate enough to work with probably one of the most humble guys I know, Jack Ramsey, always giving, and I've been able to learn. Been in the solar industry for now 12 plus years, doing everything from sales to system designing to pre-engineering, operations management and sales management. And really, Josh, have been blessed to work in all those facets to be able to see the pros, the cons, the what works, the what doesn't, and really have this informational outlook where I think that's where we've strived as a company, as AltSys Solar, being genuine, being informational, working with customers, opening up outlets to be able to give them the best foot forward. And honestly, with as many dynamics that have changed since we started the industry far back when we were a lot younger, Josh, if you will, to now just seeing where we've come, and the with storage, with different management systems now to drive down demand and really combat those high utility bills and where they've gotten and will continue to go, right? So I've been very fortunate. AltSys Solar Incorporated does service the greater Tulare County area, and will continue to be a foot standing for the solar industry. We've been highly active in chambers, highly active in CalSIA, CalSA in the past, and just really are here for that customer, that business, that ag, owner that really is looking for solutions, right? And to better themselves, because we ultimately believe you better yourself, you better your community, and things will come.
If you are a business owner, if you're a homeowner, residential system, you've got bills. If you're an agricultural company, you've got big bills. We're talking demand charges. I mean, it is insane. We're going to go into all of that, of course, from your perspective as you're listening today, homeowners, business owners in the agricultural industry. You came to the right place. Because AltSys, working with Soligent as well, we help all of these types of customers achieve results and really achieve their goals. And every customer's goals being different, saving on the bill, having battery backup, demand charge mitigation, peak shaving, time of use, so many different factors that you work with on a daily basis. Ricardo Armedarez from AltSys Solar out of Tulare, California, also works with Jack Ramsey, the owner, and of course the real boss, Ricky the dog. I love it. Stop on by there, check him out, right off the Highway 99 in Tulare, California at 1434 East Tulare Avenue for a personal visit in Tulare. Also as well, give them a call, 688-2544. That's area code 559 anytime, and online at altsyssolar.com. I brought Ricardo on today for several reasons, but one of them, we're speaking to you, the homeowner, the business owner. You're in the agricultural business. Why does this matter to you? And Ricardo, he's at the nexus or the center with AltSys Solar every day in the Central Valley, the agricultural capital of the world. There's 24/7 food processing and businesses and operations here that are getting nailed with demand charges. Homeowners here in the Central Valley are feeling the pinch in their bills. Utility rates are skyrocketing. And you, the homeowners and business owners of America, and especially here in California under NEM3, you know what I'm talking about. That's why we brought Ricardo on, because he's meeting with you and people like you every single day to solve these problems. So we want to pick your brain, Ricardo. Again, thanks for being here today, the Beyond Emissions podcast, iTunes, Spotify, and at the Beyond Emissions location, the headquarters, which is at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe, and click on the link below to find out more. But we're going to pick your brain. I hope you don't mind, Ricardo, but homeowners, business owners, folks in the ag business industry, they're listening right now, and they want to get advice. You're out there speaking with these customers on a daily basis. So solar, let's start with homeowners. Solar plus energy storage solutions for homeowners. Why does it matter? It's not just battery backup now, right? Talk a little bit about that.
So I would love to talk about that in the sense that, I think before batteries were something of, this innovation that may be here and when is it going to be here to help. But the times now, I talk to people now that even had solar then or don't have solar now, and their bills, although they may not be doing things different or may not even increase how much they're really using on the kilowatt side, they're getting bigger bills and higher bills, right? And so when you really start pulling back what's behind that and the root of that, and utility companies have a couple of ways they charge, right? And just educating them on how they're getting charged, because it's not only how much you use, it's how much you demand. And going to that demand question really is, there's charges and other things that we cannot offset solely with solar anymore. And so looking at battery options to help do this and reduce the overall portfolio of what they're using from the grid is highly important and really makes sense to look at it on every project, right? Now, the customer may not want it, but you have to address these things up front, right? And I feel like if we're informational about it, a lot of times with the batteries, you really start to reduce that portfolio at the most expensive time. Josh, you know this, that from 4 to about 10, when everybody's home, things are getting pretty expensive. And so that's what we're addressing from a homeowner standpoint, is when they use, how they're using it, and how we can take advantage of not only just solar these days and adding solar and batteries, and not just talking about that off-grid use like it was talked about in the past.
Yeah. In the past, it was all about what loads do I want to run when the grid goes down? And that's why I want batteries. Not anymore. Now, demand charge mitigation and those additional charges, by tackling that demand, oftentimes we're not building for whole home backup in those scenarios. We're just building a battery bank large enough to what? Offset that demand, offset that kW of load. Okay, to make this in layman's terms, you've got a bunch of stuff that's on during the day, and at a certain time of the day, you may have X amount of appliances, air conditioners, whatever coming on, and spiking that demand for a period of time. That can set what the utility charges you for the remainder of the time, even though you may not be going above and beyond that demand threshold for the rest of the day. I mean, it can really make a big difference. So what are we doing? We're basically using the battery to blend in power so it doesn't go above that threshold? Or, I mean, is that a good way of explaining it, or what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, and really it's just being able to shift, right? And having the ability. I always said that, it's the job of the utility company to set the indicators, which they have, right? Higher rates, moving the time, giving you less for your solar. And so if those are the cases, then how do we mitigate, right? And I think shifting times, putting those very valuable kilowatts, for example, that you want to store, you can use them at home in the most important times to help offset the most expensive times in the day. And I think that's really giving the maximum capability of a system is now having dual systems and being able to shift those loads are tremendously important for helping reduce your overall expense.
That's what we want to do, folks. We want to help you reduce your overall expense. And, it pays for itself. I mean, 30% federal tax credit available, but, other advantages, like not getting charged those high demand charges, that can add up quite a bit, almost like snow on a snowball, right? It may not seem like a lot day by day by day, but if you take those daily savings, like I sound like my grandpa, right? Imagine, Sean Whippersnapper, I'm going to take a shavings of $1 and I'm going to put it on your pillow, just like the tooth fairy, every single day for the next 20 years. What does that add up to? I mean, wow, it really does add up. Whatever those savings are for the different client, it really does add up, doesn't it, Ricardo?
Yeah, and really looking at the amount that we're able to save these days is just significant, right? And we're talking about the average person, right? If we can shift $100, $200 a month, $300, I mean, gas is expensive, kids' supplies are expensive. So what we're doing is, in full honesty, I feel when I present and I'm able to help in these manners, Josh, and help save amounts every month, we increase the quality of life of a person, right? And that to me is gratifying, being able to take that savings and then we get to go to Billy's after school programs. Then we get to have, nicer things, maybe school instruments, maybe all these other things. And heck, people do need help. And every day, looking at it from perspective, you're absolutely right, Josh. This adds up every year, right? And then year on year, just kind of like they talk to you about putting money away and accruing and saving and starting early. I think the perspective is to start early, see where the flaws are as far as how much your outlay is, and everything that we can pinpoint and save is an advantage in the long run.
Right, and what can we control, right? Focus on what you can control. Homeowners, business owners, this is in your hands. It's something you can control. We can't control inflation, right, Ricardo? Armedarez with us today from AltSys Solar Beyond Emissions podcast. I am Josh Brum, Energy Storage Manager here at Soligent. Learn more about solar and energy storage from us. Just reach out to me, storage@soligent.net, email storage@soligent.net. Also, if you're in the Central Valley area, AltSysSolar.com. That's AltSysSolar.com. Their phone number, Tulare, California, where they're located, 559-688-2544. What can we control? Ricardo, inflation. I had I won't say what the medical procedure was, but I had a medical procedure recently. Nothing wrong with me. Everything's good. Folks, thanks for your prayers. No, everything's great. And I went in, and part of the prep was I had to go get 64 ounces of Gatorade. I think you can guess what I was in for. Most men who are 45 plus have to go do this. Okay, no more guesses at what the procedure is, folks. Gosh, prying ears want to know, right, Ricardo? So I'm going and getting 64 ounces is the requirement of Gatorade that I need for the prep for this medical procedure. And I go to the store, and all they have, what were 32-ounce bottles, I was going to get 2 of them and make 64. They have 28-ounce bottles now that they're selling in place of the 32-ounce, like nothing ever happened, or you get less ice cream, but they keep the price the same. Inflation either makes it shrink or the cost goes up. Either way, but you get less of what you're paying for. You don't get what you pay for with inflation. You can't control what somebody's doing with the cereal box or the Gatorade bottle or the loaf of bread that you're buying, or the gas in your car. You cannot control that. Just like you can't control the utility rates going sky high. but you can mitigate those costs. You do have some control by making the right investments in a renewable energy system that works. Working with Soligent like us at soligent.net, great installers like AltSys Solar at altsyssolar.com, that really care and getting it properly sized. And if you do that, you're taking control of something you actually can control. Making an investment in your solar and energy storage system properly sized can actually give you some control back that you don't have otherwise in our economy because of inflation. It's one of the things we can do in this inflation-ridden situation that we're in. We actually can control that aspect of it, right? As it pertains to inflation, Ricardo?
Yeah, so I mean, looking at rising rates, right? I have yet to work with a utility company that has never raised their rates, right? We know that they're going up, average of 1% to 4% usually, or even more at different times. So when you look at it from that perspective, what can I control? As a consumer, as a residential consumer, what we look at is, where are you going to be in the future? Where are you looking to get to? Looking and analyzing what the system size is now and also for future growth, right? So these battery systems, where they're great and they can be scalable as long as we think about infrastructure in the beginning, and there's just this foresight that when we size systems, that we can allocate what we need now, but also with the theory of what will happen in the future as we go more into this electrical vehicle scenario, right? Or as someone wants to add a pool later on down the road, or looking at these scenarios, building another ADU on the back house. All these things we look at because dynamically building a system, we should incorporate these things, because when people get solar, this is one thing that I've noticed, is that they typically tend to use a little more energy even though they have solar, right? The idea was to save money, but they get a little comfortable, Josh. They get a little comfortable turning things down a little bit. They get a little comfortable, leaving a light on. Oh, I got solar. So where I've been very fortunate to learn through Jack Ramsey and also you, Josh. Let's not shy away from the knowledge you have in battery systems and what you've helped me build as far as what is the customer really wanting, not only now, but what are they going to need in the future, right? And that perspective, I think, goes a long way with rising rates, with designing a system, and also a happy consumer, Josh. Someone who is happy knowing that you're thinking about these things not in the now sale, man, that goes a long way.
In the future. The future is now, man. I love it. EV, you mentioned that. You talking to a lot of customers recently from AltSys Solar as you're out there helping people save money on their bills and designing systems? Are you talking to folks that have EV now and they want to know what to do, or they're going to get EV in the future? How are those conversations going in the field with homeowners and business owners?
Great question. Yeah. Let's tackle residential first and kind of those homeowners, and we can then discuss a little bit of how business owners are looking at it. From the residential side, a lot of times people have kind of just jumped into that, I want an electric car, where we see people who preemptively have bought an electric cars with no real sight of, using a little more energy at home. They have to charge at home, whether it be at home, or they got to go find it, in the Central Valley and be able to charge somewhere possibly quicker. But where I've seen homeowners in the past be a little more retroactive, I'm seeing a little change happening. The dynamic now is that, people are talking about adding them after, or, hey, I'm getting solar because I have been thinking about getting an electric vehicle. And with how many electric vehicles and mandates, and there's incentives out there to drive people moving that way, it all has its place, right? And it's all catering to pushing this industry more electric, right? Well, the utility company knows this and they're taking full advantage. So I think there's the goal is obviously to reduce emissions, but we're not all going to get there at the same time. So having that open concept of, do you need charging at home? If for some reason I just had this conversation with somebody who has a medical issue, and they were talking about having an off-grid setup or that off-grid power, because if they need to charge their car to get to a doctor's appointment, it needs to be, right? And so these are all discussions we're having now, adding one, sometimes two, and if I've done 4 chargers at a residential place before, and that's a bigger system, but we're seeing it now, Josh. It's now, right? You said the future is now, and it is very true with that.
With EV chargers, are you oversizing the PV array, the solar panel system, to account for the additional kilowatt hours of battery capacity that they need to fill up every day? Or how are you going about doing that?
Yeah, great question, right? So we are limited, as you know, Josh, with the infrastructure. So we will typically get the analysis and say, this is what we can do, and typically we'll walk them through that process of, if you were going to be driving this, 3 to 5, 6 hours a day, then honestly, we need to look for upgraded infrastructure to be able to put more PV for your demand, right, for your use cases and all those, all the driving you want to do. So we are addressing those issues and also remedying them if we can. But you're absolutely right. With higher increased kilowatts needed for your EV, and they are bigger battery banks right under those cars, and they're probably going to get bigger, hopefully more efficient. But we have to address those higher loads, right? And so as we saw in the past, hopefully we were trying to reduce the amount of solar someone needed. We are seeing systems that are bigger now because of the electrical, loads that they are needing now, right?
Right. And charge times. Maybe the PV array doesn't, account for, all the energy that's, going into the electrical vehicle during charging, but maybe it's a portion of it. Whereas the most of the offset that the PV array is providing is for the loads in the home. Then the rest of the energy can come from the utility, but maybe it comes from the utility at midnight to 5 a.m. or something like that, when there's less demand on the grid and maybe rates are cheaper. I don't know. I don't work with a lot of these customers. I know you do on a regular basis. I envy you. You get these personal conversations with customers. You get to learn on the front lines, and you're sharing it with us today. Thank you, Ricardo. I appreciate it, man. So, but the EV charging may be a mix of pulling from the grid when rates are cheapest, oversizing the PV array to account for being able to put something back in. The grid goes down, you can use the batteries and the solar during the daytime as an example to maybe partially fill up the car so you're not stranded in an emergency. Lots of advantages, lots of flexibility on what people can do, right?
Absolutely. I think more than ever now we're seeing multi-unit systems that do more things than just one, right? And there's import, there's export, there's storing, there's using in the now. It's exciting things and more exciting for businesses as well to come, right? We have these level 2 fast chargers. We have level 3 chargers. We have businesses now looking to retrofit and prove a statement, right, that they're willing to make the change. So we're seeing not only solar added at the business, but some carports maybe, as well as those EV chargers, and even some businesses getting creative and saying, hey, we not only want to do it for ourselves, but offer some place that would assist the community to be able to charge. And that to me is like the big picture, right, is that, people are seeing that there is a use, there is a demand, and some people are going above and beyond and being able to add that also for the community. So businesses have depreciation and other things they can use to where it starts making sense to add more of these infrastructures, maybe these batteries. And it's just a great thing to see, and charge times have reduced for some of these things with faster charging mechanisms. So, where somebody might have before had to sit for 30 minutes to an hour, isolated sometimes and waiting and, hoping that would charge faster. We're seeing those times, cut in half, maybe even more. And that's exciting to me is that, the industry is making changes and they understand, people don't have a lot of time to just sit and wait when they make this new technology jump, right? And that's exciting for businesses as well.
What an interesting marketing idea for, say, a restaurant or a business. I think of a restaurant because you might go sit in there for an hour and a half and have some food and drinks or what have you. So imagine if you're a restaurant and you're saying, you know what, if you have an electrical vehicle, we've got our EV chargers in the parking lot. All you've got to do is just sign up for our free EV charger charge while you eat pass, right? So you get them to sign up, give them the little card, which is a pass, and now all they've got to do is come to your restaurant for lunch, pull up, swipe the pass, and get a free EV charge while they're eating lunch, and then walk out there and hop back in their vehicle. I could see that being a really cool marketing tool for like restaurants and businesses, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Driving business into your restaurant, cities, municipalities are making the change. They've gone and took the gung ho, and so those downtown areas where you have the courthouses, you have all these different plays. It's a great way to get business driven into your area, right? I think it's a great idea, right? And you put that on your website. Maybe even you give a little bit of a discount, a 1% discount if you come in and charge and sit and eat with us, right? I think these are all great ways that business owners can capitalize, right? Packing houses, for example. I've seen some great packing houses in our area and manufacturing plants, not only at it for their use, but also for their employees' use. And wow, that's amazing, right? Like stepping outside the box, right? That's what I love to see in the industry is that we stimulate this mindset, right?
Right, a bigger picture. Not only are big companies, packing houses, ag-related businesses, different business models out there, not only are they using solar and energy storage to mitigate demand charges, time of use, peak shaving, all that good stuff for their operations, but they're using it as a way to retain talent and not have as much turnover with their employees, having more employee loyalty because, hey, part of our program, we have great benefits. Here's our package. By the way, if you have an electrical vehicle, you'll get free charging out in our parking lot every day while you're here working. Ooh, what a great idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine the world of contracts going forward now actually including that? By the way, we understand, here's another perk, right, that we may have. That's a selling point. I mean, those are little selling points that all make a difference, right? And for the bigger picture, Josh, environmental-wise, it always makes a picture.
Right. It's not just about the economics. I know that's what we're focusing on. But the show is called Beyond Emissions. Ricardo Armedarez from AltSys Solar with us, the Beyond Emissions podcast brought to you by Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. We're thankful that you're here and learning. Education is key, ongoing education. Never stop learning, and that is what we're endeavoring to do here for you together. Homeowners, business owners, we've discussed a lot of great topics today with Ricardo. AltSys Solar in the Central Valley, it's located here, but their philosophy is the same. I know Jack Ramsey, the owner, he has a big heart, and, he's been leading CalSA, formerly CalSIA, as well. And I was at a meeting at your location in Tulare, California, AltSys Solar, and CalSA meeting that Jack was hosting one time. And there was a myriad of different, what you would normally call competitors, solar company owners that were there. And Jack, there was no competition. There was no, oh my God, that guy's trying to steal my business. I don't want him here. No, Jack was like, no, more the merrier. Come on in. And that's really the attitude that we can have. There's enough business to go around at the end of the day, right? This isn't a cutthroat business. I mean, there's really enough business to go around. We've got a great business, a great industry that we're in with a lot of potential in the future. We've barely touched the tip of the iceberg, right? As far as the growth in solar and energy storage, our business, there's a lot of room for growth. And you can have friendly competition, but at the end of the day, Jack Ramsey at AltSys Solar really shows by example how you don't have to have this cutthroat attitude. You can actually have a attitude of working together, even though you may be different, different competitive businesses. Does that make sense? Or am I crazy? I mean, I saw Jack do it. All these company owners, I'm like, wow, these are his competitors, and he's like inviting them to dinner. How cool is that? What a great example, right?
Yeah. So one thing that comes to note when you mention that, and it gives me goosebumps, is professionals in an industry, right? Being professional in an industry, and hands down, if we can have that approach, and obviously there's going to be competitor bids, and there's going to be that everybody wants their business to succeed. Where Jack's taken it the next length is that he understands that if we have successful professionals in the industry as a whole, we will grow. And I can't tell you how many businesses that I've seen in the past, and I've had the pleasure of working side by side with it that have that philosophy. But I've also worked with the people that didn't want any part of that, and it really does hurt the industry as a whole. And so when I again, fortunate to have Jack set that mindset that we're here to grow professionals in the industry, and that to me is where we need to still continue to look at, because there, like you said, there is plenty of business out there to go around. And if we set the bar high, industries, you set the bar high and it's sky's the limit, man.
We've got some Google reviews. I know you got to go in just a moment, so thank you for being here. Ricardo Armedarez. Say that correctly, Josh. You're a professional. Sorry, Ricardo. Thank you for being here. AltSys Solar. Ricardo, thank you so much for helping educate us, homeowners, business owners, the importance around solar energy storage. The future is now, and that's what we're talking about here today at the Beyond Emissions podcast. Before I let you go, I want to read a quick, this is a Google review from Chris Ketchy. This is an actual real customer. With a bachelor's in business, I researched my solar purpose extensively. Needless to say, Solar City did not even make it to my doorstep. I spent 6 months researching and getting quotes from 3 national companies and 2 local companies. Ricardo at AltSys Solar was able to earn my business through his customer service, fair pricing. He walked me through the entire process from solar layout, pricing, installation, permits, dealing with Edison. Shortly thereafter, the install, I had an email issue with 2 dark panels. I was unaware, and through SolarEdge monitoring, Ricardo's team identified the issues, dispatched service, and resolved the issue before I was even aware of the problem. I have recommended AltSys to several friends, and they've also purchased solar systems with the same experience and customer service. And I'm going to scroll down. There's one more testimonial on your testimonial page that's from a person I think I recognize, Josh Brom. That's right. AltSys Solar. Ricardo sold me my system, and AltSys Solar installed it, my personal solar system that I have on my home. Was sold to me by and installed by AltSys Solar. AltSys Solar is the best. Jack, Ricardo, and the whole AltSys team did a great job, and I've worked with them on several projects for my customers as well. AltSys is awesome. Totally recommended 100%. That's a real testimonial that I put in there a while ago, actually. I'm glad it's still up there. How cool. But if you guys want a great company to work with, if you're in the Central Valley area, I highly recommend reach out to AltSys Solar. Jack Ramsey is the owner. And of course, Ricardo Armedarez as well, sales manager operations there in Tulare, California. Call them, area code 559-688-2544. That's area code 559-688-2544. And let them know that Josh from Soligent sent you from the Beyond Emissions podcast. You guys rock. I just wanted to give you a little shine before you leave. You deserve it. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your educational opportunity here today, helping us learn more about solar and energy storage, and from the homeowner's perspective especially. Thank you, Ricardo. Much appreciated. If our listeners would like to reach out to you, or if they have any conversations they'd like to have, what's the best way for them to reach you directly, Ricardo?
Absolutely. So I appreciate all that you said. Again, we want to make sure we put our best foot forward. We'll do our job. Even if you don't go with us, we're willing to sit with you, discuss your bids. The best way you can reach me directly is going to be area code 559-310-2156. And then by email is going to be Ricardo at AltSysSolar.com, your Central Valley's best provider.
That's what I'm talking about. Ricardo, thanks for being on the Beyond Emissions podcast, sir. Go make it a sunny, beautiful day. And I know you're doing that for your customers, making their day sunny and beautiful as well, or capturing as much of that sun as possible. God bless you, brother. Have a great weekend. Thanks for being a special guest here today on the Beyond Emissions podcast.
I appreciate it, man. I look forward to getting to Vegas, hopefully, still working on it, and I appreciate the opportunity. AltSys thanks you and commends you for your work over many years, so thank you.
Awesome. Ricardo, thanks for joining us. AltSys Solar, our special guest on the Beyond Emissions podcast. Have a great day. Thanks, Ricardo.
You too, buddy.
Folks, he was just talking about the RE Plus coming up event in Las Vegas. That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Celebration event happening the 14th. Oh my gosh, it's coming up already. I can't believe it. Incredible. Already here. Amazing. Coming up very soon, Soligent is there to present it. We're the host at the Top Golf event. It's going to be a lot of fun on the 14th. Would you like to get, entrance into that? Stop on by your RE Plus We Heart Installers booth. Chance to win entrance into the Celebration event. We're taking over the entire Top Golf, the floor. We're going to have drinks, food, everything. Thank you, SunGage Financial, Iron Ridge, Solar Converters, and Fortress Power Energy Storage Solutions, sponsors of the Top Golf Celebration event. Again, September 13th. Yeah, I messed that up. September 13th. Stop on by, booth 5949, and get yourself a pass. In addition, we're going to have a chance to win how cool is that? A Taylor Dunn driver. Beat the pro, win a driver. That's going to be happening at the Celebration party. Stop on by our booth again, 5949, and we're going to have a putting contest to win a Scotty Cameron putter. Again, booth 5949. Stop on by and see the Soligent team and a chance to win that putter. 4 chances to win a Yeti 35 cooler. Woo! Yeah, We Heart Installers, We Heart Solar. We'll see you there, booth 5949, and the Top Golf Celebration event on September 13th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Top Golf in Las Vegas. RE Plus, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you there. Come on by. Visit me as well. I'll have my sign. It says, "Ask me about batteries," and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you and your team and set you up with some solutions from Soligent. I'm Josh Brum, Energy Storage Manager here at Soligent. And of course, you can check out the Beyond Emissions podcast, all past episodes available, Spotify, iTunes, also as well Stitcher, I think is being added, and at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe, comment down below with your questions so you can be a part of this ongoing conversation about creating a world that is beyond emissions. I'm Josh Brum again, host of the Beyond Emissions podcast. Soligent, the largest pure play solar distributor in the Americas. See you in Las Vegas, everyone.
We at Soligent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with GivePower. Well, we wouldn't be here today talking to you about Give Power if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with Give Power since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding Give Power, that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Soligent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to Give Power on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Soligent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot.
Soligent's purpose meets Give Power's mission. Join the impact. Soligent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more.